Hi back here. Guess what, guys? It is time for a mid-year WIP parade with maybe a finish and a couple new starts. So here is one basket of WIP. The other ones are just stacked over here because I didn't have another basket that would fit my bags. So welcome! This is kind of a Flosstube extra. It won't be like regular Flosstube. No haul, no knitting, no quilting. Not like any of those things have gotten done anyway. But this is just going to be a recap of my WIPs up to this point. All of them. So, I have my handy dandy. I bought this little book at Joann's. It was on clearance. And it's just a, like the two little books in it are just a dot journal. So, I wrote down my WIPs in order because in my other book they were not in order. So I guess maybe we should start if you've never visited me before. My name is Candace. This is my Flosstube channel where I talk about cross stitch. Occasionally there's some other crafts involved, but definitely not in this episode. This is just about the WIPs. These are my works in progress. Cross stitch works in progress. Let's see. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a mom of two. A wife. I work part-time. I love to stitch. So that's me. Okay, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. You guys, if you've been with me for a little while, some of these you might not have seen in a while. So we're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to go from oldest to newest. So my very oldest WIP is from January 25th, 2020. So I started stitching in November of 2019. I have no WIPs left from 2019, which is probably good because I only stitched the last 2 months of the year. So 2020, on January 25th, I started Lavender Farm from Core Ebadicor. Now I will say in this description box, I will have the usual links to groups and stuff like that, but I'm not going to list out every single WIP because that would take me a while. If I'm not mistaken, right now I have 35 WIPs, which is too many. I'm working on getting them down. So first up is Lavender Farm. This is on a 28 count lamb's wool Jobelin using the called for DMC. And there's where it's at right now. Not quite halfway done. And yes, I did not iron anything. These are coming straight out of their project bags, where some of them have been for a little too long. All right, next up we have from Core Ebadicor again. I started this one on January 29th, 2020. Apparently I was going through a little, wanted to start all the things. This is Halloween and cross stitch. I still love this pattern. I do not love my fabric, but I'm powering through because I have so much done already. It's on a 28 count Monaco. Jeez Louise. It's just so stiff, and I'm stitching in hand. So that's where I'm at. If her dress wasn't already done, I would probably start this over on something else. But her dress took a long time. So I will power through. I will get this one completed eventually. And it is on my WIP Go board, so and the majority of my project bags either I made, most of them I made, a few I purchased, but all right, next up is my Long Dog Leap Day Sale. So this one I started with Erin 2 Martini Stitcher for Leap Day back in 2020. So this was February 29th. And that is Game of Swans. So the goal is to have this one done by the next Leap Day. I need to get cracking. That's what I've got. Hold on, let's do this. There we go. Let's see if I can move my basket over a little. So that's where I'm at. And because I was such a new stitcher at the time, oh, this is on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. I was such a new stitcher at the time that I didn't have all the called for colors. So I didn't want to go out and buy all the colors, so I just converted to the nearest color that I had. I'm sure it'll be fine. But again, I love this fabric, so I'm definitely not starting this one over. And of course, this project bag is just a hair too small for this chart. It like just fits. Okay. So next up, dogs are going crazy outside. Next up is Mini Citrine. This is my very first full coverage. And there's the chart. I started this on March 1st of 2020. It's on a 25 count white Lugana. So I'm getting there. I'm at like 65%. My goal for the year is to be at 75. A finish would be amazing. And being that this was my first one, I learned a lot with this one. So there she is. She getting there. Now I just got to figure out where to set. Oh well. I'll just dig through. Okay, next up. This one is for Nora Corbett. A lot of people call these the Fancy Ladies. This is Fairy Autumn Glow. So far, this is the only one I have purchased, and it's on a 16 count Beach Walk Ada. It's the called for color, but the called for fabric was linen, and at this point I was not, I mean, I'm still not super into linen, but oh, maybe you don't mind her sticking my scissors through my bag. So there's where it is right now. Still working on her dress. But I think this one is on my WIP Go board. So it is entirely likely that this will get more work I mean, I'm definitely a stitch in the season kind of person. So this will probably make many appearances this fall. But I love this one. I don't know if I'll do any of the other seasons. Because I really just like this one. So I started that one on March 2nd. Apparently I like to start things close together. All right, next up was a year of celebrations. I started this one on April 24th of 2020. This is from HandsOn Design. So what I'm doing with these is I'm only using these for the 24 hours of cross stitch events. So I have a couple of skeins of floss just chilling. So I do have 4 left. I have January through August done. So we have January, February, there's March. And this is on a 32 count Lamb's Wool Jobelin. There's April. There's May. There's June, July, and August. So what I have left is September, October, November, and December. So the next 24 hours of cross stitch event, as long as I'm not, you know, something silly like out of town, like I was for the last one, I will hopefully finish those last 4 up, and then I'm going to start FFOing them, fully finishing them, because I would like to have these hanging up in my office at work. I like these ones. So that is a year of celebrations. And again, this is one of those that, and I really love that Kathy did an edit to these and added a July for Canada and a November for Canada so that it's more inclusive to another country. Okay. Next up was Spring Awakening. So this was, okay, here's where the Mania stuff starts. I did Mania in 2020 and did not do it this year. It's not for me. I mean, it was fun once, but yeah, I won't do it again. So this is from Little Dove Designs. This is Spring Awakening. And this is still in the Q-Snap because I've still been working on it. So I have everything above done. So I just have, there's words here, and then I'm working in this area right here. So definitely over halfway done. I think I've worked on this one since you guys last saw it, because I have all the fence posts in. Oh, this was the one I forgot to bring down last week. That's what it was. All right, so that is on a 14 count platinum Aida. So that was on May 2nd. The next Mania one that I still have hanging out was Mini Dark Goddess. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs. And here's where I am. I haven't worked on this in a little while, and I definitely still love it, but it's going to end up being a focus piece in the next couple months for Sane Stitchers. So this is on a 25 count Easy Grid Lugana. Okay, next up was May 14th, and I did a new start every day for Mania. So thankfully that means that I got quite a few of them done. Seasons in Chalk Art. This is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine. June 2016. So this is what it looks like. And this is from HandsOn Design. The artwork is by Priscilla Blaine. I'm doing this on a 14 count black Aida. It's a little rough going, but we're getting there. And really, if I would just stick this in a Q-Snap, it would probably go a lot faster with two-handed stitching. It's just a lot of white. I really don't like stitching white. I will probably not do the rest of the seasons, but you never know. You never know. I am using, let's see, I changed my colors from the called for. I'm using Bean Sprout, Golden Star, Ladybug, and Plymouth Rock instead of the called for, because those are what I had, and I think it looks really good. So, all right, so that was May 14th. May 18th. Now this one is just darn silly. So this is from the trilogy, and this is Cheer. Look how tiny this is. I only worked on it that day. I've not touched it since. I need to just finish it. Yeah. So this one is one that will be coming out this month because I'm doing all like winter Christmas type ones this month. So this is one of those that will hopefully be a finish next time you see me. Oh, let's see. Next up is Winter Warmth. This is also from Little Dove Designs. It's so pretty. So I am using, what color was this? A 14 count light seafoam green. And of course, I did the same darn thing. If you guys have watched me for any length of time, I started it too far down. So it's going to be a little tight at the bottom, but I'm not starting over. It's fine. It'll be fine. I will have probably like an inch. So that's where it's at. And then this one will probably, I wanted it to come back out this month, but we'll see. It is on my WIP board, so if it doesn't come out this month, it'll come out for sure when it's called. Next up is Winter Path. This is from Carolyn Manning. Another one I could definitely do in July. And I'm doing this on a 16 count. Yeah, 16 count white Ada. Actually, I guess I could just leave it like this. And yes, there is, there's space in between. And it's charted like that. So I can't use this for a full coverage piece. I can use it in Sane Stitchers, no problem. But I cannot use this for a full coverage piece. Because there's not enough of it filled in to be considered full coverage. Which is fine. So, again, one of those that I really need to get back to. Next up, oh, Mini Autumn Cat Magic. So this was my third Heaven and Earth design. So this is what Mini Autumn Cat looks like. You guys have seen this recently. I started this one on, oh, Winter Path was started June 12th. So I only have 5 Mania projects left from 2020. And one of them is full coverage. So really 4. That's not bad. That's way better than I thought. So this one I started on July 1st of 2020. And I just love the way this is turning out. I love working on it. Every time I pick it up, I don't want to put it down. This is on a 25 count easy grid. All right, next up, Hello Dear from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Now I've actually been working on this month. So if you haven't seen my last video or two, you will notice quite a bit more done. So this is what that looks like. I just have the PDF. So, and look at that, the whole top of the tree is done. Woohoo! I'm very excited about that, I will tell you, because the rest of it should be a breeze. So this is on a, 28 count white Lugana. I started this one October 13th of 2020. So that's a pretty good gap. That's a 3.5 month gap for unfinished, you know, for WIPs. Next up, birthday start. Oh, everything's falling over now. Give me that. I think it's because there's a bunch of beads in this one. So next up is Woodland Wonder by Glendon Place. So this was my birthday start last year, November 12th, 2020. I'm doing this on called for with called for. So this is a 28 count earthen Lugana. The only change I made was for the white snowflakes. I am using DMC Etoile because I wanted sparkly snowflakes. So there we go. I have one tree done, albeit in the wrong colors because, you know, reading. But yeah, I got some work to do. My WIP goal for this one was to have this done by my birthday. So this one is also one of those that is coming out this month to be worked on. And really, you know, I think the trees are what is going to take the longest. And then counting on the antlers. So I got some work to do. And you know what? It's just cross stitch. So if I don't get it done by my birthday, no big deal. I'll get it done eventually. I just love this chart. So I'm definitely not going to rush it because it's been enjoyable to stitch, even if I did stitch one tree in the wrong colors. Okay. So then I started on November 15th of 2020. I started Christmas Pixie by Ruben McHugh. This is on the Charting Creations website. So this is not a Heaven and Earth design. I love it. Let's see if I can get it up in here. So there's where I'm at now. I've done quite a bit of work on it since you last saw it. Because this is my focus piece for Sane Stitchers for this month. So right now I'm just working on these little flowers and leaves, you know, that surround the Christmas Pixie. This is on a 25 count white easy grid Lugana. Yeah, so November 15th is when I started this one. There we go. Everything's gonna slide and fall at some point down here. Next up, Christmas Rules by Lizzie Kate. So this one, here is the entire chart. And this one actually comes with two. There, I can't go up all the way because I don't want you to see the chart for the other one. But it comes with 2 of the rules per chart. So that top, the topper, I guess, that's what I call it, can be found on her website. And then you just do all the rules. So, I'm doing this on a 32 count platinum Lugana. And of course I changed a bunch of the colors. If you want to know my colors, let me know and I'll list them out. But I went with what I had on hand. So there's where I'm at right now. And I have been working on this. I finished up filling in where the background for rules. And then I was working on the snow. So now I just have a tree right here. And then the topper will be done. So this is on my WIP Go board, and my goal is to do the topper and 2 rules for this year. And honestly, the rules should go fast. But I do have enough fabric left to do Halloween rules if I decide to. I don't have those charts, but I have enough left. Next up, Summer Blooms. So this is another Little Dev design. Summer Blooms, super cute. I don't know why. These were charts that I had fallen in love with when I first started stitching. And then I started them. This one I had actually started in Mania, but I restarted it because, here, I'll show you. I still have the original in here. the white doesn't show up. There are white flowers. And the white really just does not show up. And I knew before I got too far, there's even white in the house. And I knew before I got too far, I needed to change this to a different fabric. So I'm scrapping this, and I restarted on 32 count platinum Lugana. And no, I have not done the white yet. It's not that you can't see it, it's just that I haven't done it yet. So I restarted this one on December 5th, 2020. And this one will eventually get called for WIP Go as well. It will not be a finish this year. I'd have to work on that almost nonstop. Next up is another Heaven and Earth design. You guys have seen this one recently. If I can get it out. This is Magic Study. This was a limited edition chart from Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't need that anymore. There we go. That got all of it? There! Show the little dragon in there. So I do have some stitching like way off over to the side, but generally I'm sticking in this area right here. Just love this dragon. Just love it. So that is on a 25 count easy grid. No, 28 count. Don't fall down. There. Okay. Next up, Christmas sampler. You guys have seen this one periodically throughout the year because I'm using it in Sane Stitchers. This is from Core Ebaticore. I'm using it for the Alpha My Bet challenge. And this one, I also did a color conversion, so if you want to know that, just let me know. 32 count lamb's wool Jobelin. Let me see if I can get the whole thing in here. Almost. Apparently I need to just fold this in a different way. Oh well. You can see through it, that's okay. There we go. I think that's all of it. Is that all of it? Almost. So that's where I'm at right now. Obviously this one is also, since it's like a Christmassy in July, this one's going to get work done as well. I want to get caught up on my letters, but I also want to get some of the bigger motifs done so that the rest of the year it'll just be basically filling in letters. But I will say my goal right now is to finish Hello Dear and then move on to the next one. So, all right. Well, hold on, let me check. Is that the next one? Oh, the next one I started on December 29th, and it was Quarantine Cats. And I told you guys the last time that I was scrapping that one. And I did, and it reached its new home. So, hopefully I'll start to see progress shown on Instagram from Tiffany soon. Be awesome. So after that, I started Birds and Blooms on January 2nd of 2021. So this is my first project of this year. So this is what Birds and Blooms looks like. I guess I should go like this because it's so long. And that's where I'm at right now. There's a lot of confetti in this thing because I got the max color. So Birds and Blooms is on 28 count easy grid. And it's going to be long. So that's why I put this one in a Q-snap and not a scroll rod, because I would need a really long scroll rod and this is as big as it'll be, like height-wise. So, all right, so birds and blooms. Next up, sorry I have to stand for this one because it fell all the way down to the bottom. So we have Lovely Gnomes from Autumn Lane Stitchery. This was in Just Cross Stitch magazine. Here's a picture of what that looks like. And I'm doing this on the called for fabric because I had enough from Woodland Wonder of the Earthen Lugana. So this is on 28 count Earthen Lugana. Yeah, it's not much. And I still am not entirely certain whether I'm going to even finish it. I mean, it's cute, but I never reach for it, ever. This one may end up getting scrapped. So, we'll see. I mean, the biggest thing is at least I just used scrap for it. Oh, there it is. I want to make sure I didn't lose my needle. Okay, so. Hold on one second. I'm going to put these back in the basket. Okay. So, those are back in the basket. And now I have a pile over here. All right, let's see. Where were we? Lovely Gnomes. Now we are on Let's Talk Winter from HandsOn Design. So there's what that chart looks like. I love these. However, I am not doing them on the called for fabric. This I hand dyed myself with Aqua Rit dye. It's a big piece. I did not need a piece this big. And there's where I'm at right now. So I did get some work on it this week, since my last Flosstube. And I did convert the colors to ones that I had in my stash. So this is a 28? 32 count Lugana. So I'm sure it might have shrunk up just a smidge, but I didn't mind if all of mine weren't the exact same size, because I'll use different frames probably for them anyway. And of course, another one of those charts that has a lot of white. And I'm not a huge fan of stitching white, yet somehow I keep ending up with charts that I love that have a lot of white. Okay. Let's Talk Winter. Next is, oh, Let's Talk Winter I started on January 15th of this year. So Celebrate Christmas from Madame Chantilly. This is what that one looks like. And I started this one, ooh. That was the back of a needle minder. I don't know how that got there. Oh, I bet it was stuck to the bag. So I started this on February 4th. It's on a 32 count vintage Stormy Night Lugana. And I did convert the colors because these are all in DMC. And I used Classic Colorworks and 1 Weeks Dye Works, 1 Color in Cotton. So I have the top of the tray done. I just love this. I love it so much. It's so pretty. So what I did is any of the colors that showed up a lot, I wanted to use hand-dyed floss for. So the poinsettias, the leaves, the greenery, and the gray. I want to say the bird is in DMC, yeah, except for his breast right here. But yeah, and this was actually it was on my WIP Go board, and my goal was the top tray. And I got the top tray done. So if I get some good progress on other Christmas pieces this month, I may pull this out and do a little more on it. I just love it. I love it so much. And I will say, it's hard to stitch from a PDF on this one. I think this one would be better on paper, but I did purchase it PDF, so that's what I'm working on it with. So the next one is Iced Lemonade from Madame Chantilly. This is on a 28 count fabric flare in hazy gray. I really like this fabric. So these are the charts that come in this one, and I'm doing that one right there. So this one was started March 4th. And her charts are not small, by the way, just so you know. Let's see. Can you see all that? Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. There's really, I mean, there's a lot of white, but I really like it. Oh, and I did change out this teal color. I'm using 959 instead of 503. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it calls for 503, and my 503 just looked really dingy, and I wanted something brighter, so I'm using 959 for Lemonade. And it's funny because I did not intentionally do this, but my bag pretty much matches. All right, next up. So this is like 2-on-1. So this is from the Keepsake 2021 cross stitch calendar. And these are Barbara Anna. So I'm just going to show you both at the same time because it's easier. I started Folk Art Deer first, and then I started Folk Art Fox. They're on 40 count Bronze Age from Be Stitch Me. I started these on March 6th and March 8th. So there's what they look like. And I am doing these on 40 count over 1. So this one is Folk Art Deer. Sorry about my wrinkles. So many wrinkles. I mean, it is 40 count, so. So we have Folk Art Deer. And then over here is my little start for Folk Art Fox. I mean, look how tiny these stitches are. They're so tiny. I will say tiny stitches are also kind of hard to count. I love this fabric though. I love it. And I am using a Q-snap. I have to. There's no way I'd be able to stitch this without a Q-snap since I'm doing over 1. All right. And yes, I should have a bigger bag for this one because this magazine barely fits. Okay, next up, Antique Cups and Spoons. This is from Shakespeare's Peddler. So that's Antique Cups and Spoons. And this is on, there we go, 32 count limestone Lugana. And you guys just saw this one last week. And these are the 3 colors I'm using for the 3 charts that I have. Because I finished Locks and Keys, and I also have scissors and spools. So. So that one was April 14th of this year. Then I started Fresh Cut. This is a pattern, an It's So Emma pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, I thought that was upside down for a second. Nope, it's right side up. So that's Fresh Cut. And I'm doing this on the called for 16 count bisque Ada with the Cosmo floss. And that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, still on the Q. I could probably take this one off the Q Snap because I'm working on Christmassy, wintry type patterns this month. All right. That was April 22nd that I started that one. So the next one I started was April 26th, and it is the Bonnie and Camille Shine On Sampler. And it looks like this. I tell you, I love this. But this is probably going to take me until the end of my life to stitch. I'm doing this on 40 count white Verdal 1/1. And I'm using the called for. It's going to take forever. But that's okay. That is okay. Not every cross stitch can be fast. Okay. All right, so that was April 26th. And then I also started on April 26th, Let's Talk Spring from HandsOn Design. So that is this one. Once again, I changed the fabric and some of the floss colors to go a little better with my fabric. And I'm using a 32 count Lavender Lugana. That's all the start I have for now. Just an S. I had started this for a challenge in Semi-Sane. And I just haven't picked it back up yet. All right, next up is Garden of Dreams from Barbara Anna. That's what that one looks like. Now that you can see the full picture. This was a mystery stitch along. Obviously woefully behind. This is on a 32 count Pearwood Lugana from Color and Cotton. This was a fabric of the month. So that's where I'm at right now. Using all the called for DMC. I think it's so pretty. Pardon my wrinkles. I try to fold them in different ways every time I put them in the bag, but then they get stacked together like they did last night to prepare for today, and then they get actual fold lines in them. Okay, so that was Garden of Dreams. And then I've had 3 new starts since I saw you last. 3. So let's do, I want to show you my finish first. The finish that I had. We got this one out of the WIP pile. This is a Waffle Lot from HandsOn Design. This was a box exclusive for the Black Needle Society in the Date With Your Stitching. So I did this just on a scrap piece of 28 count white Lugana. And it's done. Now, you'll notice that in between there are like little stitches that go all around. I thought that was too much, so I left those out. Everything else is there though. So that one is done. And I did consider doing the bottom, which is this one right here, because I'm not going to make it into that pillow. But I considered doing the bottom on the rest of this fabric. So that's not going to happen. Oh my. What am I talking about? I have all sorts of stuff that I would rather stitch instead. So I did have a finish since last week. So we'll stick that one up there. Okay, on to the new starts. So I started this chart from Heaven and Earth Designs. It is mini home for the winter. And I had been watching Vani from Thread the Needle. And usually with my full coverage, I will just stitch where the floss takes me. Wherever I feel like going next is usually where I'll go. I decided to try her diagonal method. So that's where I'm at. I have a little over 2,000 stitches. And I'm doing this on, what am I doing? 28 count ivory. It's an even weave because I don't think I could ever do a full coverage on linen. So I really like it. And the reason I used ivory is because of those white stitches. There's a lot of white in this chart. A lot. Like 13,000 stitches in 3865. So I decided ivory would be the best way to go. Okay, so the next one I started is I have a lot of these little kits from Mill Hill. Snowflakes, snow crystals, all sorts of them. So I decided I was going to do Mill Hill Monday. So on Monday I started this one. And this one is the aqua crystal. Sorry, I have... Get out of there, needle. I had to mark what was the top. So there's where I'm at right now. I don't know why Southern just came out, but... So I've got the dark aqua done, and I'm working on the medium aqua. And I will tell you, 3 strands of floss is messy looking. And I know there's going to be beads on this, and it's going to help, but there's... I don't know how you make 3 strands of floss on perforated paper look nice. But anyway, so I'm working on these on Mondays. So I'll work on this again next Monday. So that was my next new start. You gotta be careful putting this in here. I don't want to wreck the perforated paper. Get in the bag. I mean, really, I should have like just a... Oh, I could use that project bag. Now that I'm done with it, I'll do that. That way, if anything falls out... There! So my little Mill Hills can go in here now. That works. Okay. So the final one that I started is actually a stitch along that I'm doing with Laura, who I met at StitchCon this year. And this is Teresa Koget, Fox and Friend. And if you guys want to join in, it is, we use the hashtag Fox and Friend Sal, S-A-L. So there's what he looks like with his little bird friend. And I found my fabric at StitchCon. It's an 18 count parchment Aida. Now I will tell you, I did not realize it when I chose my fabric. There are fractional stitches in this chart. So I'm going to have to do fractional stitches on Aida now. But I got the border done. And yes, it's like crooked in my Q-snap, but whatever. The lines are straight and they're counted correctly. I counted like 18 times to make sure I was correct. So the outside border is done. So now I can just work on everything else. But that's okay. The outside border is done. I love this fabric. It's Fiber on a Whim. The color is Parchment. And it definitely has a green. It definitely looks greener in person. I don't know. It does kind of look more like parchmenty, but there's a definite green tone to it. So it works perfectly for the grass in this chart. And it'll probably show it better once I have more floss in it too. So that was my new start that I started on Monday. So hopefully we'll have some others join in with us. And yeah, I'll just keep posting my progress and using the hashtag on Instagram. Here we go. So that's it. That is all of my WIPs. However, I have a UFO. I UFO'd this. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I love it. I just don't think it's for me. So I UFO'd Country Cottage Needleworks. Welcome to the Forest. So this is all of the charts. All the charts. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do a giveaway. Yeah. I'm going to give these away. So this is going to be weird, but if you guys, if anyone would like Welcome to the Forest, the entire series, use the word raccoon. I told you it was going to be weird. It's because there's a raccoon. It's so cute. So, if you would like these charts, I already got rid of my fabric. So, I don't have that anymore. And I'm afraid since I used some of the floss, there wouldn't be enough to complete this chart. So yeah, we'll just do the charts. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charts. So if you'd like these 7 charts, the word raccoon. And I will announce the winner next Wednesday. How's that? We'll just do a week so that I don't accidentally forget about it. So there, another empty project bag. Okay, so that's all I have for this week, guys. I am going to go and I need to grab a couple of pictures so that I can show you what they look like. And that's it. I will have haul type stuff next week and WIPs. And I'm going to go check on my kids and my dogs because I think the dogs are still outside. It's okay. So I hope you guys liked this WIP parade. It definitely, going through everything the other day, gave me a little bit of fire on things that I know I can finish quickly and get them out of my WIP pile. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me know down below about certain flosses, or if I forgot to say a fabric. I hope I didn't. But this little, this little handy dandy journal, this thing was like $3 something at Joann's. It has a little elastic to keep it closed, but it's got 2 books in it. And they're both, I think they're both bullet journal. No. The first one's a bullet journal and the second one is just blank pages. I would prefer lines, but it's okay. This is perfect for keeping an order. My other books, I can just write down all sorts of notes and stuff in, but this one I can just keep my projects in the order that I start them. So it's easier for me to let you guys know. So that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will see you next Wednesday with a regular floss tube. Bye, guys.